Hello YouTube, Happy New Year. I am in a little gymnasium. Used to be a gymnasium slash cafeteria. This is one of the little schools that I used to take care of when I worked for the county. This used to be the kitchen. They closed this school about the time I left the county, consolidated it with some others. And a pipe fitters union bought it. Their intent was to have training classes here, I believe. I think they were going to convert this gym to like a welding shop, but it has a wood floor. So I guess the insurance company frowned on that. So they sold the building again. Of course, this used to just be the entryway. This was the principal's office. It's warm in here. We've got a heat pump on this section now. This was a classroom. That wall has been, this used to be old school, new school, so there's a pretty wide wall right here, looks like. So this was a classroom. They split it up into a couple of different offices. A woman's bathroom, janitor's closet, men's bathroom. Let's see what they did with these other rooms. It's a train. A good train. PTAC. These things used to have hydronic warm water heat. Had little cabinet heaters in each room, but they've taken those out, looks like, in these cases, and stuck in PTACs. There's a boiler dungeon directly beneath the kitchen. It's down probably about 12, 13 foot. Has an old propane fired boiler. I'd say it's probably about 750,000 BTUs. It's a steam boiler, and then they have a heat exchanger. But the gym had a steam heater back here on what I guess started out as a stage and then became a library, but they've opened it back up and made it a stage again when the union bought it. But what happened with this heater is you had a just an open return coming in down here, and then the heater pulled its air in. Let me get back up here, and this was your steam heater, and it discharges through those two openings into the gymnasium there. Johnson Controls, we use the Johnson Controls building control system. It's an old unitary controller there. It's actually my writing on it with that red ink pen. It has no N2, meaning that it did no longer communicate with the others, so that's probably why it was stuck in this school. But what I'm going to do, the owner that bought it is one of my guys that owns a bunch of property, landlord, and they're going to use it kind of just as a family to play basketball and this and that. So he wanted to put a little heat out here. It's it got down to 9 degrees last night. It's still, you know, fairly warm in here considering how cold it is outside. So what we're going to do something quick and fairly inexpensive is pop a 120,000 BTU furnace in here. I'm going to actually, I built a box for it last night at my shop. A return plan. I'm going to set it here in front of this opening and tie it into this open grill, and then I will take out one side of this ductwork off of this old steam heater and discharge the heat from this furnace back out into the gym right there. Assume on the other side of this box is going to be my sensor for my old UNT, so I'll just put my thermostat out there. Probably has a little cover over it to keep a ball from hitting it. This UNT would have had a 20 amp 110 volt circuit coming to it, so I'll use that for my furnace power supply. I've got a cord right there. I'm going to stick a condensate pump on it. There's a crawl space under here. I've been under there to change the steam trap. There was steam heaters out here as well. So rather than go under there and try to crawl around and drill out through there to put a drain in, I think for now I'm gonna stick a condensate pump on it and pump the discharge out. This is the outside wall over here. They've got 3 1,000-gallon propane tanks up on the hill there, but they're not going to use those. They're going to get a different propane company. Is going to set them a smaller tank on that slab where that modular unit used to be, and then they'll trench down the hill. So if I punch through the brick down here, they can put them a regulator in the propane there. So I'll come in, come up that wall, over that wall to my heater. I'm going to size it in order to run 220,000 BTU heaters in case they want more heat. We can stick another one in this same area and twin them, get them twice as much heat. I'll have to measure here, but I might be able, this is a wood wall versus the 8-inch block and the 4 inches of brick. I may try to take the flue right out through there so I won't have to drill through the block. I think we can get 3 foot away. I'll double check. And so it'll be a pretty simple little job. Here's what we're going back with. It's just the ICP 120,000 BTU. I built this little return plenum. I got a space here for a 24 by 30 filter. Had to bump it out a little bit in the back to make room so the filter would slide in all the way. May or may not make a little cover for it. We'll just see how it looks. And again, it's just a down and dirty way to get a little heat in this place. I didn't mention earlier, the boiler's no good. It's one of the reasons we closed the school. It was made in 1978. It's atmospheric boiler, and we were forever coming over here and cleaning the tubes off where the rust was falling down on them. So they're not going to. They've already mostly got electric heat in the rest of the school now. I think we have an 800 amp service, so they're not going to replace that boiler. So we're just looking for some way to get them a little bit of heat in the gym to keep it manageable in the winter time and warm it up a little bit when they want to come and play basketball. Here's the back of the school. Plenty of electrical. But here's that dungeon I was telling you about. I brought a flashlight. Let's see if we can get in down here. A little light, not a lot of light, let's see. If you can tell, that's an actual fan blower system to get the propane out of here if you ever have a leak. That was the old Johnson Control stuff we used to run the boiler. I think we put a UNT in there because we took the DX controller that was here out because they couldn't use it anyway when we sold the school. And here's the old steam boiler. I know it's hard to see, but it's dark in here. The hell. 1.68 million BTUs of rust. And then we have this heat exchanger here to convert the steam to water for the newer part of the building. Expansion tank's way up there against the ceiling. So you can pretty much cut this thing out of here and sell it for scrap now. It's getting pretty cold in here. You better get him some heat. Backflow preventer's got ice coming out of it. Or where it's dripped down, it's froze. I'll tell him he needs to get some heat in here. This is unseasonable weather we're having, or actually non-routine weather, but no point in letting it freeze if you can stick a heater down here. Okay, I got to thinking that maybe I shouldn't use this old circuit because they're using the ground, the conduit as a ground here for that old UNT. And I had a newer circuit over there that had been ran to a little panel up here on the stage. This one comes from down in the boiler room. But of course you can see I have my 123 volts to the neutral, but I also have 123 volts to ground. Let me show you the other circuit. Okay, as you can see, we have a 123 to neutral. We have 26 to ground. My meter's getting cold and freaking out over here. 26 volts to ground. So this, more than likely, this circuit would not operate a furnace with a flame sensor. So I'm going to go back to using the one on the other side. Okay, got a little heat out here this morning. I made some gas pipe at the shop last night. A little bit of metal over in that corner, but I stuck another hole through for the drain. I'm going to put some 3/4 inch PVC out and then attach my condensate pump to it on the inside here so it won't freeze up in the winter.
Disconnected.
I'm going to plug this off here. That'll be for that second furnace should we ever install it over here on this side. What I'm going to do, I need some lunch. I'm going to run and get my test gauge to put on the outside, and I've got a plug in the van. I'm sure I'll put in that, and I'll test the line right there for now, and maybe the propane company can get on out here and get started running their line down the hill while I'm putting in the rest of the unit. Here's what we're going to have on the outside. This pops through there, comes down. We got stubbed out there for the regulator. And again, they're going to trench right up the hill and set the tank right up there. Got a test on the gas line. And remove the old UNT off the wall, but I'm getting ready to take this duct apart so I can start adapting to this thing. But can you imagine doing HVAC at a time when you had to drill holes and put in flathead screws? Got up on top to take these screws out. 70 years of dust and love notes. Okay guys, this morning the gas company is actually supposed to come today and put us a tank in and get us some gas. So I'm going to try to start buttoning everything else up. Got my flue extended out. I've got to put me a hanger. It's too much of a span to meet code right here. I bought a beam hanger and I was going to use this bracket, just bend it to run the 1/4 inch rod through. But I have a bunch of 1/4 inch rod at the shop and I forgot to put a piece on the van, so I'll have to do that when I come back. I've got this thing basically fitted up to the wall in this opening. I'm just going to put a piece of duct board in there right now to block that off. Talked to the owner and he's seriously considering going ahead and doing a second furnace after he sees how this does. But so I didn't, normally I would hang my pump off of the return box here, but because he may put the second furnace, I may probably wind up with the pump over on that side. So I'm not going to do anything right now except just set it on the floor and stick my drain down in it. What else? I've got to basically start building this thing. I thought I'd do that while I wait on the gas company to get here. But as soon as they come, with my flue there and my gas ran, and I've got my electrical, I just put it on this fuse right here. So when I throw this up now, we got our little green light there. So I'll be ready to go from that standpoint. What else? Oh, got my drain run down the wall out here. Just popped it through 3/4 inch, run down, put me a little 90 or 45 at the bottom to kick it out. So typically around here, as long as you have a 3/4 inch line, it won't freeze up solid. Some of the higher elevations I've had to go, maybe a 1 inch line or even bigger to keep that furnace drain from freezing up, but this should be fine down here in the valley. So I will get to working on this supply plenum, and not sure exactly how I'm going to build it yet. Got this piece of metal and another roll out in the truck. I hope that'll be enough. If not, the supply house is not very far away. Oh, and one more thing. When I was running my vent, I had a 10-foot piece of 3-inch and then a short piece of 3-inch at the shop. And I threw it on the truck and brought it, thinking that if it was enough, good. If it wasn't, I could run and get some. This is what I had left. Perfect. Here's the old Johnson Controls temperature sensor that was on the wall over here. These is what we call a warm cool adjust. You could set the parameters in the unitary controller to either give them, 2 or 3 degrees plus or minus from the set point that you had into the building control system. So I've taken it off the wall and mounted my new little simple Honeywell stat. And it's a whopping 37 degrees in here. We get this supply duct kind of roughed in here. I did the back out of one piece. I've only got this little Hensler bender, so I just cross broke it twice. Looks like a diamond in the middle there. Won't be able to see, but anyway, I just broke it twice. And then I just bent the bottom. I had a piece that was 24 inches tall, so I made a 3-sided piece that was the same size as the top of the furnace. So I come up 2 feet. And now what I'm going to do is make a front piece that's going to kick in or kick in to about 14 inches deep, to where it'll just miss the flange on the old heater up there. And then it'll go back across the top of the existing duct, and I'll put it in, and I'll just have to fill the sides in. There's just not a lot you can do with something like this. It doesn't have to be bulletproof. This space is the same space as the gym, so it'll all get to temperature. So just need some way to get the majority of the air out there, so that's what I'm doing. Well, I don't think the gas company's going to show up today. Got my plenum all put together. I went ahead and just jumped the fan out since the thermostat doesn't have a fan only control. So I wanted to see what this filter would do. Of course, there's about a 6-inch lip right here, and see how it's got it sucked up against it. So I don't think I will put a door on this. Basically, any air that comes in under here is okay anyway, because again, this is all one big area. Here's that lip I'm talking about, so that filter gets sucked up against that. I don't think anything's going to get through there. It's not like we got a coil anyway. Keep the blower wheel clean is all we're really worried about. So I'm going to make one phone call and make sure that gas company's not going to show up, and if they aren't, I'm going to leave and come back when they do. Well, it's early. The owner called me last night about 8 and said that the tank people got here and left. So, see what they gave us. It's on. Looks like about 70% full. I'll never get those things where they'll shut. It's 12 degrees out here this morning. I don't know what it is in here. I didn't look when I walked by the thermostat. Gymnasium. Well, 35. Hey, above freezing. Okay, I'm going to grab a manometer, because I converted this to propane. I will have to set the gas pressure right off the bat. So we'll get this thing fired up and warm this place up. Okay, going to check the inlet pressure first, just to make sure they got us enough coming down here. Well, maximum of 14, so I guess we'll be okay on that. I guess I ought to go ahead and switch it over to the secondary side so I can set the pressure pretty quick, and then I can check it when it's running. Okay, getting ready for first fire. I just flipped it on. I'll turn it back off right quick if the pressure's too far out of whack. I bled the line slightly through the test gauge port, so I don't know if it'll fire the first time or not. Apparently not. I may have to bleed it some more. It's a long line. I don't know how far they bled it last night. I wasn't here. Trying again. Oh, wonder if that would help. Duh, my brain's froze. One more time. See your breath in here. Blow it again. Might run out of tries here. Speed. Yeah, it's going to be a little loud. I think ICP puts both labels on the door. I've got the new label stuck on it though, so I should be able to open it up and see what we got. The blower was just getting ready to start. Let's see. 11 inches on the manifold. Inlet 12 to 13, so we really need to bump that inlet up just a little bit, and I'm definitely going to have to bump my manifold up, so I will get this cover off and try it again. Okay, I turned the regulator out here in one turn. Let's slip this cap back on. I think we'll be pretty close, but we'll go back in and check the inlet side. Okay, going to check the inlet side one more time, see where we are. Okay, right at 12.5, so that should be good for that. I'll switch back over to the secondary and we'll adjust the pressure on our valve. 35. Just curious if we can feel anything over on this side of the gym. Beautiful morning out there. Yeah, I can feel the heat all the way across the gymnasium up here where it's blowing out. So I've got the fan set on the highest possible speed. I'll check my temperature rise, but I figured in a space this large with a heater that small, we would be better off getting the air movement. So I'll go out and get a drill and a thermometer and see what kind of a temperature rise we have. Okay, the old Cooper says we got about 34 degrees on our return here. So I can find a place to set it. Get any increase. Rise. Down, we're probably going to have right at a 40-degree rise. So we can slow it down and get more rise, but again, we're trying to heat a fairly large area in there, so it's important to move that air around. So if I can leave that stuck in the hole and come back and check it in a little while. Okay, this fella wants a 45 to 75 degree temperature rise. So I took my high-speed tap and moved it up to cool and went back to a lower tap. So I'm gonna try it there and see what we get. I need to get within that range. Because we were getting, on that black tap, we were probably getting 23 to 2400 CFM. Okay, on the blue tap, we're still less than 0.1 static, so we should be getting around 1800, almost 1900 CFM. I'll check temperature rise now and see what we come up with. So she's raised up a little bit already. Okay, on the blue tap, we're getting our minimum rise. I tried it on red and it went over the top on the too high, so I'm gonna have to leave it on blue. But again, that gives us our absolute minimum temperature rise and will give us the most airflow in the gymnasium for that amount of temperature rise. She's a chooching, mama. Okay guys, finished up in here. It's up to 60 in the gym now. Thing has run for 24 hours straight. Everything was 34 degrees, the walls, the floor, everything. So these old buildings, they cool down real slow, but they warm up real slow too. So he's going to let it run up to 65. Of course, it's warmer than that up toward the ceiling. We got some air leaks he's going to work on up around the exhaust fans and stuff, maybe try to seal them off for winter. But I truly don't think he'll need a second unit, but we got room for it if he does. Here's what it final install looked like. So So we're just pulling air out of the space here. It's drafty and big. Got my hanger on my, that's what my ladder's doing in here. I had to have something to get up there. It's kind of over the stairwell down to the gym. So got my hanger on my vent pipe. The drain has been working great. Of course, it's been running a lot, so it's had to. You can see the ice is around the outside of but nothing's freezing up inside of it, so it should stay good and clear. Well, guys, that's a wrap. I'll leave you with some footage of the outside of this old school. There's the gymnasium where we were working. There's the front entry. There's the big chimney for the old boiler. And they've took out all the original windows. The Pipe Fitters Union did that after they acquired it and put in those smaller, more energy efficient windows. That was one of the old 1969, 1970 modules. We left it when the school sold the place, took the newer ones to another school, but left that old one, and then they installed siding and renovated the inside of it and made a classroom out of it. Coming down to the front of the school, or the side that faces the highway. Again, they've replaced all the windows in that. And there's the little historic marker. I think I'll walk over and get a shot of it right quick. The original range school started prior to October 29th, 1843. The current building was completed in 1963. So, it's on the Tennessee Historic Commission. So, Happy New Year, guys. I hope the coming year is great to all of you, and thanks for watching.